Jay, onto your favourite rumour of or not really rumour, Jurgen Klopp shutting it down. Erling Haaland, Jurgen Klopp, I think he spoke to Build. I'm just trying to find a quote. He spoke to Build and he basically said that Erling Haaland to Liverpool is not on. So he said, we won't be going there. The numbers involved are just crazy. We'll be having nothing to do with it. No chance. To be honest, I don't want anything to do with it. It's not fun. That he hasn't said that about Mbappe. That's a positive. But we saw recently that the whole package for Erling Haaland was around 350 million euros, which includes his wage fee actually isn't that absurd, which is the crazy thing about it. But it'd be 75 million euros to Dortmund, a 20 million signing on bonus for him. But then the fun things start to happen when you're paying his dad and his agents 50 million each between them just for sitting there and saying, come and sign my player. It's crazy money, isn't it, Jay? And, Klopp's already shut it down, but he'd be a good player for Liverpool to have in an out-and-out striker, something we haven't seen at Liverpool for a while.
He'd be a boss signing, mate, of course. He would. Players like that are always going to make a difference. But it's like Klopp said, paying Haaland's our fella's ex-Birds money. It's not fun at all. There's no point paying all these people at the end of the day. Haaland's only plays for you, not me and Raiola or his dad or his uncle or whoever else they're asking for money for. The only thing I find interesting is Klopp obviously knows what the numbers are. So there must have been some sort of discussion at some point. But I'm glad I can just be put to bed, mate, because I'm sick of mostly the echo coming out and going, oh, Haaland's going to come to Liverpool and blah, blah. He's not. We know he's not. So let's just put it to bed now and stop deluding ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's simple as, isn't it, Matty? Klopp sort of said that this isn't happening. We know the club don't really like to work with Mina Raiola. Maybe after next season when the 3% agent cap comes in, but it does seem like, Riola's trying to get his last millions out of a club, doesn't he, with Haaland?
Yeah, definitely. This is Riola's last big summer, so you'll probably see Pogba go on a madness with a big mad feat of Riola. He's going to set himself for life this summer, Riola. It's the worst window, I think, to buy a Riola player. But with Haaland, I can't see nothing past him playing for Manchester City because his dad did. I just can't see nothing past it. I think City haven't got a striker. They tried to get Kane. Kane hasn't been phenomenal this year, you would say. The second half of the season, he's been better. The first half, shocking. They can go and get Haaland for cheaper. For the price they're going to pay, Haaland as dad and Riola is the price they're going to pay for Harry Kane. And Haaland's got, 5 or 6 years on Harry Kane. And he's twice the player, in my opinion. I'm one of the biggest Harry Kane haters. So, but I think with Haaland, he'll probably go to City. I think he probably would have went to Real Madrid if they weren't trying to get Mbappe in the same window. But I think he's going to go to City. It makes me feel sick that he's going to probably end up at City. But the money's mad. But like Jay said, I do think Liverpool have asked the question because how else would Klopp know the money around it? But again, with Haaland, it's one of them, you've seen players like Michael Owen, for example, peaked very early on in his career. I know they're completely different players, but is Haaland in his peak now? And it's a lot of money to gamble for somebody who, he's world class. He's an absolute freak of nature, but it'd be interesting to see him in the Premier League, to be honest with you, because it's a lot faster paced than anything he's been used to before.
Louis, he's had a lot of injury issues this season. He hasn't really featured. And I know last season he did have a fair few injury issues as well. He's starting to become a bit injury prone. Surely paying 350 million euros is crazy. You could get Mbappe for that. As we've discussed, you can get Salah, yet they don't have the longevity, but their injury records are immaculate. They're playing at the highest level. And, it's mental money, isn't it?
Yeah, we've seen players who come to us who didn't have particularly bad injury records, but we do play a very intense style. It's an intense training regime. So if he's doing that at Dortmund, and I've watched Dortmund a few times in the Bundesliga this year, and they're not that good. There's not that much intensity to them. Obviously, that could be different now. I don't know, but it's a worrying sign. And if you spend all that money, and within 3 games he's out for a few weeks, and then it turns into a bit of a navigator again, he's never going to live up to your expectations, and it's always going to be a frustrating signing. That being said, if he goes to Man City, I'm sure he'll be brilliant, never pick up an injury and score 40 goals a season. So, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah. Again, guys, if you're new to the stream, please do leave a like and subscribe. Helps it out a lot. But going on to going to Man City, it does sort of look like it's that gonna happen. How dangerous is that gonna be for the Premier League, Jay? If he can't stay fit, there's not many. Virgil struggled against Haaland against when he played for Salzburg, and he's come on leaps and bounds since then.
It's true, mate, but there's not many better than Sergio Aguero either. And we coped then. Aguero's one of the best strikers I've ever seen, personally. I know Haaland's a great player as well, and it makes them frightening, but all their players are stupidly talented, mate. Like De Bruyne he's a freak. Joao Cancelo, freak. I really like Laporte. I know they all talk about Diaz. I think Laporte's a really good centre-half. So yeah, obviously, mate, it makes them a lot stronger, but we're a lot stronger since we got Diaz in, and we don't know who we're going to sign in the summer anyway. So yeah, City will be stronger, but I expect us to be as well. So just makes the league that little bit more exciting, having more exciting players in it, really.
Yeah, I mean, going on to it, I mean, anyone can answer this, but would he improve Liverpool massively? We don't play with a recognised striker, really. We've been playing with Firmino and Jota, who's now sort of becoming a striker, but we don't like it. Klopp, especially, since Lewandowski hasn't really had a goal-scoring striker, has he? I mean, how much would he improve this Liverpool side, Haaland?
I think he'd improve any side he goes into, to be honest. He's an absolute freak. Like, when you see videos of him in training and stuff, he's world class. And it does worry me if he goes to Manchester City. But I'd love him to come and get injured on like the second game and be out for 6 months or something like that. That'd be brilliant. But he's a freak. He'd improve any side. He really would. But one player, if you're going to go and get some mad signing this summer, why not just go and get Lewandowski on a free instead of Haaland and let's go from there? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think Lewandowski's a better finisher than Haaland. Yeah, he's at the end of his career, but be less wages, not surely, wouldn't it?
That's a Man United signing, that Lewandowski.
Yeah.
All over.
I was just hoping the Klopp-esque would pull him back in because he's worked with him before. But I think with Haaland, I'm worried if he goes to City. I'm really worried.
I mean,
next year, then I know Lewandowski is free soon. It might not be this year, maybe next year.
Yeah, I think it is next year. But if you're talking about ex Jurgen Klopp players or like people he's been interested in, Dortmund are releasing Julian Brandt. The fabled Felipe Coutinho replacement. Looks like he's going. Who else? There's Dortmund are letting go of a few people, I think, to rebuild their entire team next summer. So might be one to look out for. But I think we can put to bed the Haaland rumours after Jurgen Klopp's quotes, especially. Thankfully for
you. Is there any chance he stays at Dortmund? No chance at all.
No, like you said, mate, with Riola now, with the 3%, he'll be getting everyone else in, lad.
Grab him back. Yeah, grab
what
him
about
back.
even Bayern, though, if they was to get rid of
No, so they can't. I'm pretty sure there's a clause. Recently, I only saw this. There's a clause in his contract about Bayern, and if Bayern want him, you have to pay more than his release clause. Don't know how true that is, but I think they're getting.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
their director is it Rummenigge. I can never say his name. He said he wanted Haaland, like they were interested in him, but they said we'd never be able to pay the fees involved for it because Bayern aren't one of them to throw mad money at people. That's why Gnabry's in the situation he's in now. And Süle, to let him go Süle as well. So, it's a proper Bayern Munich transfer, taking the best players out of the Bundesliga, but I think that one's a no-go.
I do think, though, his wages aren't like crazy money. I think they're, 300k a week, which for a player of his stature,
That's a starting wage, Charlie's only.
I don't
yeah,
think
yeah.
Bayern. I don't think Bayern pay that though. I don't think they do like 300 grand a week.
I think if the fees weren't involved with his dad and his nephew and his uncle and all that, we'd be in for him at that price.
I thought something when happened with Neymar, I thought something got brought in where like your dad's cat's friend and all that can't be getting fees.
I think his dad is part of his management team or part of his agency. Like Riola's like an advisor or something. Sort of mad to get his dad, mega rich. But thankfully, FIFA have introduced the 3% cap, which will be coming at some point next year or later this year, I think. So we can finally see the end of Mina Riola and his money grabbing.
If we're going to believe random on Google, Bayern Munich, Jay's right what he's saying about Bayern Munich. Apparently Neuer is only on 104 grand a week.
They're in talks with him with a new contract now, actually. I saw that today. So I
Their
think
club wage bill is meant to be 160 million euros total. And you think of some of the players they've got, like, when you're just looking through them, it's mad. I mean, Sula's one of the highest paid players on 208 grand, and then it's Lewandowski on 350. But other than that, all the players are on next to nothing. Really, Gnabry at the minute is on 105,000 euros apparently.
See, they're talking about letting him go, and he's been a good player. Obviously, they're not going to start paying stupid wage, and that's obviously why they're letting Sula go. If he's the second highest paid and wants a new contract, they're like, nah, behave.